Hello, and welcome back to The Layout. On this installment of All About the Modern DT&I, we will examine some of the various coal operations on the road. The train in the previous scene crossing the trestle at Quincy was from the Detroit Edison plant in Michigan, headed back to the Chessie system via Cincinnati. During the early to middle 2000s, coal was still king in eastern and southern Ohio. New, clean technologies allowed the more sulfurous coal from the area to be burned combined with Powder River Basin coal, meeting the emission standards set at the time. In response, the DT&I kept alive many former B&O, C&O, and PRR branches to serve local mines in southeastern Ohio. In a departure from traditional operations, the DT&I treats coal traffic as extra traffic and as local traffic and turn jobs, making for some interesting operations to catch while rail fanning. Several coal trains also come from other railroads. Notably, lines feeding from the Powder River Basin head east from Chicago, and the Indiana Southern out of Indianapolis has a train that heads across the system. Coal is also transloaded to and from barges at several points on the Ohio River. This includes Lawrenceburg, Indiana, Cincinnati, Pomeroy, and Powhatan Point in Ohio. This makes meet between two loaded or two empty coal trains possible at several points across southern Ohio. Let's look at some of these trains. At Thackeray, we catch a meet between a southbound loaded train out of Blue Island, Illinois, and an empty bound for Conrail at Crestline. The storms from earlier haven't yet subsided. The DT&I began acquiring SD60s for coal service just before CN sold the line. 603 is the only one to receive CN paint as a result. came off the Chicago and Northwestern at Chicago and is headed for a power plant on the Ohio River. The plants typically mix Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania coal with Powder River Basin coal to achieve lower emission standards. SD60 number 605 is one of the most recent acquisitions and is one of the first SD60s to receive DPU capabilities. It is now classed as an SD60-3. On another day and in much better weather, we're in Ironton. As mentioned before, a lot of coal on branch lines is treated like local traffic. It's not uncommon to see the local crew with strings of 10 to 15 coal hoppers in the consist. A great example of this is the Oak Hill turn. Typically, the local based out of Ironton would use an SD35 or a GP40 slug set to head to Oak Hill, but today none were available. Thus, 1776 was sent from Jackson to pitch in for a couple of days. Though technically an active unit, the 1776 is kept clean and stored at Jackson for special occasions, but when the need arises, will sometimes head out on the road between Jackson and Ironton or Jackson and Greenfield. (1776) will take this cut of cars to Oak Hill for loading and will then work the industries on the area on the way back south. Tomorrow's turn will grab the loaded cars and bring them back to Ironton Yard. On another day, we see the more common power for the turn job. SD35-300 is leading a cut of loaded cars back to Ironton Yard from Oak Hill. Thank you again for joining me on the layout. Let me know in the comments below what operations you might like to learn about next. Until next time.